Oh, what do you hear? What do you say? That Park Place. I'm Marvin the Movie Monster Montanaro, editor-in-chief of a little website called thatparkplace.com that you should be checking out every single day for all of your news needs in the entertainment sphere. And we are thrilled to welcome you guys to another day, to another episode of That Park Place Midday Magic. Normally, I've got Vash Sky here with me. He has got a live stream coming up at 2 p.m. over on Vash Sky Parkcast, his brand new channel. So he will be joining us on the show in a little bit, but he is running a tad late just because there's so much he has to get done before his first stream goes live on the air. So let's bring our panel on right now. Ladies and gentlemen, you know her from Hanging with Erica and Raph, and she's updated her background again, and it's beautiful. It is the one and only Erica.
Hey, how are you, Marvin?
I'm good. I'm doing well. It's been a wild news day over on That Park Place and Geeks and Gamers, between issues with Highguard, issues with Stephen Colbert, just a whole ton of stuff going on in both the parks and the entertainment world right now.
That's insane. I don't know how you do it and keep up with everything.
Today is one of those days where I don't know how I do it either. I still got to get some Emperor Empire content up at the same time. But also joining us, guys, is Miss Magically MJ. You're muted.
Hi, happy Wednesday. Woo!
All right, another Wednesday in the books here, guys. Hump day. We are here to get you guys over the hump with some magical news and some not so magical news. Well, at least all the news that should be fun. Guys, anything fun or exciting that you wanted to, get out there before we dive into our first story of the week?
Yeah, one of my best friends from high school has orders to come out here.
Oh, fun.
No, small world.
That's exciting.
That's really great. Oh, I'm happy.
But we still want to leave. We still want to get back to the States.
Look, you know who does also have some things we have to discuss is the audience, because our wonderful audience keeps the lights on around here through their generous super chats and gifted memberships. And Ruby Hoove has already gifted one That Park Place membership. Thank you very much, Ruby Hoove, and congratulations to whoever got that. And then we've got Paul Leviter Gamer for $9.99 says, "Hail all. When it comes to AI, there are hurdles that need solving. Cost to earnings ratio, mostly free use. China's stability for Seedance. Availability may be in jeopardy if the bubble pops. Thoughts?" No, I agree. Seedance has been a bit of a game changer in the AI world. I think that it made AI a much more real and tangible threat for Hollywood, or at least this level of AI in the hands of the ordinary plebs like me and you has made them nervous. I think they're looking at Seedance 2.0 and what it can do and rubbing their hands together because they can't wait to get their hands on it and put people out of work. Whereas everyday Joes and Janes of the world, they like it because they just get to do things like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if Batman fought Captain America? And, they make it happen. But now, as far as hurdles that need solving, cost to earnings ratio, I mean, yeah, that's a biggie. Obviously, especially because they are building so much infrastructure around, AI right now with RAMs and memory and whatnot. Potentially for use. China stability. China stability is another big one. China really doesn't care about IP laws and stuff like this. But now even Netflix is threatening to sue them. Guys, do you have any opinions on this?
No, and you're talking so fast. I'm having a hard time keeping up. My brain is like in
Sorry,
slow
I
processing
do
mode.
tend to do that.
No, you're fine.
Well, Dark King 616 for $2 Australian, good day, says apparently Midnight's Edge redirects here. Cool. And yes, they do. We love our friends at Midnight's Edge. I'm on that show typically on Mondays. I was not able to make it this week on Monday because just so much news has been happening. And I was busy covering it all for both websites. But I love anytime I can get onto Midnight's Edge in the morning. Love Andre, love Tom. Those guys over there put on an amazing show. But guys, we have got news to get to. We've got plenty of news to get to. So why don't we get into our launch story of the week right now? CFTOD, the Oversight District, the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District established by Ron DeSantis, has approved a $6.7 million electrical system expansion for the upcoming Villains and Cars themed area in the Magic Kingdom. Now, on paper, this doesn't sound like a huge deal or something even worth talking about, but what really matters is what this isn't saying, and that is that certain rumors that have recently come out about Villains Land may not be true. Let's talk about it today here on That Park Place. Guys, so they've approved 6.7 million in electrical systems expansion for Villains Land, which means that essentially the electrical systems that were presented to Sif Todd, within the last couple of months have now been approved and can begin installation. Now, on paper, that sounds like, okay, yeah, that's pretty standard. But in reality, what we're seeing here is that there was a recent rumor that came out of the WW Magic forums. I think WWNT picked it up. We did not run it because I didn't think it was a legitimate rumor. Our sources close to the Walt Disney Company have told us that it was not a legitimate rumor, that Josh D'Amaro went to the Imagineers and he said, I want a complete retooling of Villains Land. Cost is no object. Throw all the plans out, start from scratch, build something worthy of the Disney name, because I am Josh D'Amaro and I am in charge now. Well, if that were the case, Erica, they would not have approved a $6.7 million electrical system that's going in for the existing plans.
Right. Very true.
I think they have to rival Dark Universe, so they better buckle up and do it right. They were probably trying to give us something else, like a Carnival at Dino Land USA situation. And they're realizing, no, we got to rival Dark Universe, and mediocre is not acceptable. And I think that's probably why plans are being scratched, and they're going to have to go all in or nothing, because they have learned the hard way. They've gotten a few spankings. Get it right.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion on that one.
That is 100% accurate. I think what you just said there, MJ. Dark Universe is a total game changer over there in Epic Universe. What we've been seeing over there is just basically the blueprint on how to do immersion in like a dark theme park land, because Villains Land has got to kind of rival that, because it's got to be dark, it's got to be slightly creepy, it has to be the exact opposite of Fantasyland, almost an inverted Fantasyland. But this idea that Josh D'Amaro came in there and threw out all the plans and was just like, hey guys, we are starting from scratch. We're starting new. This is going to be a community of D'Amaro, as it were. That's a whole bunch of baloney. I don't think that is anything even worthy. By the way, is my audio coming through okay? Because my computer is skipping all over the place right now.
It glitched a little bit, but you're good now. Yeah. You're okay now.
Okay.
Cool. You're frozen now.
Erica, what are you hoping to see out of Villains Land?
Oh gosh.
Okay, but can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. There you go. Now you're back.
Okay.
I'm hoping it will rival Dark Universe over at Universal Studios. Epic Universe. I don't have so many mixed emotions about this, because on the one hand, I'm kind of against a Villains Land, but on the other hand, I get that there has been a demand for it for years. I think mostly by Disney adults, though, not really from kids, or families as a whole. But it's here, it's coming. So now what is this thing going to look like? How immersive is it going to be compared to what Universal is bringing to the table? That's what I want to know. Are they really allowing Imagineering to push their imaginations to show to us, to show the world what they can actually do without scrapping their plans over and over again, to the point to where even Imagineering can't even recognize their own concepts anymore, which has happened in the past. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I hope it's very immersive, because this is the Magic Kingdom, and this is the one park you really don't want to screw it up in.
Well, I mean, when you think about immersive lands that Disney's created in the past.
We lost you, Marvin.
Still.
Just to continue the conversation until his audio comes back. I really hope that in Villains Land there will be kid-friendly attractions, because if you think about it and you go to Dark Universe, not every kid is going to want to go on Monsters Unchanged. It's scary, whether we want
Yeah.
to admit it or not. It's scary in there. It's cool. It's awesome.
Isn't there
but
like a
it's
height
scary.
requirement too? So it's not just like any kid can go on there.
You're right. It's about the same
Yeah.
height. I think it's 42 inches. So it's the same height requirement as Forbidden Journey. So
Yeah.
I hope that Villains Land has an attraction or two that doesn't have a height requirement, or just, maybe like a 37 inches. What is the height requirement for
I don't
for
know.
the
I don't speak in inches when it comes to human height.
oh but you're
I
really
couldn't even
familiar with
tell
the
you how
Magic
tall I
Kingdom, right,
am
Erica?
on the inches scale.
Yeah, but you're familiar with the Magic Kingdom, right, Erica?
Oh,
So if
yeah,
you
yeah,
think about
yeah.
it, like most rides, like if you want to go on It's a Small World or Pirates or something, the height requirement is like maybe 40 inches, let's just
Well,
say.
there is Haunted Mansion. I know that'll be part of Villains Land.
Okay.
But as far as like new attractions, it would be cool to see another attraction that's meant for families, come into the fold to have something, I don't know, a little extra, other than Haunted Mansion. As much as I love Haunted Mansion, that is one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
I'm curious as the landscape in general, just the shape of the land as you're walking through it, the theming. That's what I'm looking forward to more than the attractions that they're putting. But I'm getting older, so I'm getting to that point in life where I can take it or leave it riding rides. I enjoy theming,
Exactly.
and food.
You want to walk through there and not be disturbed by any sight lines and just be like completely immersed, like
Immersed. Yeah.
I am in a layer of some sort here. I'm not.
That's the kind of thing, guys, that Disney used to excel at, right? Like that was like sight lines were one of their big things. They removed the balloon off of the Muppet Vision theater, back when that was the worst thing they had done to the Muppet Vision Theater, because it would have hurt the sightlines for Galaxy's Edge. So when you think about immersive lands that they've created, you think about things like Galaxy's Edge, you think about things like Pandora. I think everyone's kind of hoping this is going to be a little more Pandora and a little less Galaxy's Edge, because Galaxy's Edge was so minimalist, and a Villains Land cannot be minimalist.
No, they really can't mess us up.
I'm really, now that I've gotten a chance to watch all the films, the important ones from Star Wars, I'm more upset for you guys as Star Wars fans. That Galaxy's Edge, that whole Star Wars area is not from the movies. And it's like, you guys, if we were able to get Harry Potter, why couldn't you guys get a decent land that actually evolved around the films? And I'm really angry for you guys more than ever, especially after seeing the movies.
So when you talk about immersion, you have to talk about Epic Universe. You have to talk about Harry Potter over at the Universal Parks, because those are, very, very big, immersive lands.
Yeah.
I see. Hold on. Jonas, did you pop in here because I had a computer snafu?
Yep. Yeah, I was just checking on things.
It's all right. I'm back.
We held the fort down though, Jonas. Okay.
Awesome.
Pat on the back. Pat on the
Sorry
back.
about that. I had to restart my computer. It's not an internet issue, guys. It's a hardware issue.
Yeah. We had to file a new permit with SIFTOD in order to big things are coming to Marv's computer.
That's all good.
Jonas, though, I mean, this basically flies in the face of that WWNT or WW Magic Forums rumor that they were going to suddenly revamp and retool their entire approach to this land.
And I don't know how much of this has been talked about, but I will just say that you don't do a big change this late in the game without also postponing the project at the same time. So this would be Josh tomorrow saying that Magic Kingdom will essentially be in the same state of disrepair that it is right now for additional years. You don't go back to the drawing board and say, think bigger, and actually come up with anything quickly on that. If it's bigger, that doesn't just instantly happen. These things actually, to Imagineering's credit, these things take years to plan and develop before they get put in, unless it's a full land of Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
Well, and that's the thing that gave me such pause, because I was like, oh, I'm sorry, they're already clearing land, they're already laying infrastructure. There's no way they're fundamentally changing anything about this now, unless it's going to be during construction when they realize they have to scale back.
Yeah, agreed. Which is the thing that they've done over and over and over again. There was a comment that I made online that some people misinterpreted. I said that I overheard a comment from an Imagineer. That one with the really nice sneakers. It looks like he doesn't wear undershirts.
I didn't know where you were going when you started that word.
I know. Me too.
He's one of those guys that you look at him and think, wow, you put a lot of stock in your appearance there, don't you, buddy? It's too bad that Imagineering is in the state that it's in. Anyways, he made some comment in front of other Imagineers to say that Josh Tomorrow wanted them to go back and put more than just a coat of paint on Tropical America's land and then say it was a retheme. So to me, that was an indication that they had budgetary problems. Now, I think this story, if anything, if it's something that's engineered by Disney, it's supposed to get us all talking and saying, "Oh, there are big changes to the way that Disney parks are working in Orlando," as opposed to the sentiment that it's been for the last 20 years. Is I heard an executive say that Orlando is where the Hicks spend their money. That's yeah.
Wow.
It's a very poor attitude about Walt Disney World.
Not nice.
That is the thing that has been making the Disney company consistent cash for a very long time. And I think that this is a misinterpretation of a very old rumor. A very old statement that maybe it just took a little while to come out and then it got applied to current Imagineering as opposed to something that Josh Tomorrow. If Josh Tomorrow was revamping the whole project, well, great. That's great news. I don't think that's what's happening.
No. And wouldn't he be getting pushback anyways from Iger? I mean, there would be a lot of conflict internally, I would think, if he came in and started
to get pushback from Iger in what, 3 weeks?
Well, Iger's contract isn't officially done until the end of the year. And he doesn't handle backseat driving well.
Yeah. See, and then there's that too.
Well, we're gonna see exactly how Josh Tomorrow handles backseat driving, because I'm very sure that Bob Iger is going to be making his presence felt. But yeah, guys, at the end of the day, don't believe these rumors that Villains Land is suddenly getting retooled at the 11th hour. That suddenly the plans have been pulled and they're building it up, and it's going to be even better than ever. Because now, I think part of the reason behind this rumor is now, no matter what comes out, they're going to be like, this is so much better than what was originally planned, because they're all going to believe that all of a sudden there was this fourth quarter, Statue of Liberty play where all of a sudden, everything changed and we took this big gamble and it paid off. And that's the Disney way. None of that is true. What you see is what you get from those plans to what is going to eventually happen. They have already approved the infrastructure. And once you lay the foundation, it is very difficult to alter what is supposed to be, rising in its footprint. So guys, Villains Land is going to be what it's going to be. We just have to wait and see if that's going to be good or evil. Jonas, thank you for popping in. Are you going to stick around or are you heading out?
No problem. I do have to run. But I will say this: if you look at that Tiana's Bayou Adventure concept art from 2020, that looked like a great ride, and it's definitely not what we ended up getting. So
very true.
Y'all have a great show.
Thank you very much. We'll catch you later. All right, guys. We do not have any super chats to go through right now, so we might as well move on to the next. The next story here. Just let me hold on, because I restarted my computer. I have to restart all of the
articles you had pulled up.
But I do agree with Jonas. I even wish that she had her own ride. I don't know why they had to retheme Splash Mountain for Tiana. She could have had her own little attraction somewhere, a dark boat ride or something. That's just my opinion.
I'm interested into I think the person with the best job on this project is whoever is in charge of lighting. That'd be so much fun.
Yes.
Lighting for Villains Land at night.
Purples and greens, right?
Oh, it'd be
purples, greens.
It's just so much fun, like the placement of it and how it glows at night. And I would love that job. But
Yes.
Hold on,
Be
we
fun.
have super chat just came through for $5. Animal Zone info for $5. Unfortunately, I don't think Disney will keep up with Epic. Yeah, I'm tempted to agree with you, my friend. It does not look like it might like it will. Also, so we have a member chat from Last Call with Troy Pacelli, member for 12 months. Hey, 12 months. That's awesome. Happy anniversary. And he says 12 months. Hope to see you all again at MegaCon. Well, I'll certainly be there.
Nice. I've never been to one of those cons. It'd be fun to go, but I want to go with the right people, so I'm not like the lost puppy.
They are.
I figured he was talking to Marvin anyway, because I've never been to one. So that was for Marv.
Well, I mean, there's a bunch of us that go. I typically go. Culture was there last year. I mean, Pro was there last year, but not that you never know. We go, you never know where he's going to pop up.
Hey.
What? I'm not supposed to be on here yet. Hang on. I got an
Oh man.
Let's see. Wildman of Yavin for $5 says Marvin sounds so sad that there were no super chats. So here you go, buddy. Pep up. I feel better now.
We have waited for months, mis amigos. Finally, the hero has arrived. It is the hombre of legend. Look.
He's a man, he's a man, he's a mic of a man. Everyone be a fan of Mexican Iron Man.
Okay, I'll admit, I don't have a Mexican Iron. I'm not Mexican Iron Man, but I don't have an intro, so I just had to go with one. I was at the DMV, Marv. I was at DMV, and I was trying to get a driver's license, Marv. And then I saw that you were having technical difficulties. I called Jonas and said, Jonas, get in there. He needs you right now. MJ and Eric are all alone. They don't have producer abilities. They're going to be stuck on this topic for like the next 45 minutes with nowhere to go, no way to get out of it. Jonas said, I can't get in there. I said, hang on, lady. I was talking to the DMV lady. I don't know if you know. Her name was Margaret, by the way. Margaret. I said, Margaret.
Oh, I know Margaret.
Margaret, I don't need a driver's license anymore. I got to save Marvin. And she said, you need a driver's license, sir. I said, no, you don't understand. That Park Place Live is live, and they don't have a producer. MJ and Eric are just stuck in a forever purgatory of talking about Villains Land. I gotta go. And she said, sir.
We held it down. We held it down, Pro. We got it.
She said, sir, we're watching TPP Live right now in the background. You got to go. I got a police escort, Marv. We hit the road. It was fast.
Wow.
110 miles per hour, hitting ditches, I apologize to the lady with the car. She lived a good life. She lived a good life, and here I am, Marv. Folks, we need super chats. I'm not going to lie.
It, bro.
I'm not here to grift. Erica, get on top. I don't like to have two guys. Anyway, folks, I don't want to eat grift. Marv needs a new computer. We got to get super chats. Come on.
Yeah. Last call with Troy Pacelli for $5. There's no super chats. This is unacceptable.
Marv needs a new computer. He's running an Etch-a-Sketch. Come on, help him out. Help him out. I got to get back to the DMV.
I think it's a RAM issue, honestly.
I needed a good laugh.
Occasionally, it just needs to be restarted.
As long as it wasn't Flash working at the DMV, then you're okay.
It's always Flash working.
It's
at
always
the DMV.
Flash.
That's why Flash was created, because it's always Flash.
They weren't lying when they did that. What's the girl's name that sits next to Flash in Zootopia? I forget her name.
I forget her name.
Texas 8412 for $5 says, what do we know about Villains and Ka-Chow Land? Probably we know that they destroyed a beautiful area of the park that should have lived forever.
Wow, ka-ching ka-chow. Oh man, this is gonna be so cool. Ka-ching ka-chow.
We really don't know much about Villains Land. We know what villains are going to be in and which are not, like namely Dr. Facilier will not be in it. We've heard that there will be some Ursula stuff. We've heard there'll be a lot of Maleficent, a lot of Evil Queen. I think Hades has been brought up a lot about it. We don't really know anything about the attractions. We do know that Cars Land is supposed to have that racer attraction. It's kind of like Radiator Springs Racers, only probably not nearly as good. And yeah, that's pretty much all we know. We don't know a whole lot.
We're gonna hear "Off with Your Head." Ka-chow.
Hey guys, before we keep going through these super chats, Margaret at the DMV, who's a big fan of the show, offered me a steak dinner if we would just do one thing for her.
What's that?
It's time for the winter whistle. The sizzle has frizzled like a slush puppy. It's time for the winter whistle. No Pedro and trailers. Where can he be?
Is that like a personal attack or something?
Well, now we do have Pedro in trailers in a very substandard trailer.
Hey, can I just tell you too, as we get ready to go in the next segment and then get these other super chats, so Marvin can get a upgraded computer, one that's got lots of RAM. I'm so happy that we handled this well with the Villains Land expansion and getting that story accurate. Marv, you never jumped on that. You never posted something untrue. We did not go for the clickbait, the headlines, all that stuff. All these other sites doing it. I'm not disparaging them. They want to do what they want to do. But we talked to folks and we said, we're not hearing that this is accurate. And we sat on it and said, we're not going to cover something that's false. So well done all, everybody here on TPP and thatparkplace.com. Very good job. That, the short term, you get a lot of clicks where you can be those websites that are chasing the stuff. But getting it right matters in the long term way, way more.
Absolutely. That's always been my my motto in journalism is, it's not whether you're first to the plate, it's whether you're accurate.
That's what Margaret told me too.
Yeah. Margaret, she's a smart lady.
I'm
going places.
She's lovely. I mean, she smells like mothballs, but other than that, we were having a great time.
Oh my Lord.
We will get to the rest of the super chats after the next story. So as they come in, we will take care of them next. But we've got another story to get to, guys. And if you're thinking about suing Disney, well, you must be tripping.
There we go. One more for the top. Triple decker, just how you like it.
Wow, thanks, Mr. Walt.
You enjoy it.
We will.
Walt Disney Company has responded to a lawsuit from a guest who claims that they tripped on Main Street, USA. Now, Disney doesn't usually take kindly to guests who try to sue them like this. Hopefully, this person never had a Disney Plus account, and this lawsuit will be able to move forward if, in actuality, there is some validity to it. Let's talk about it today here on That Park Place. All right, guys, we see it right here from Mickey Visit. By Lindsay Brookshire. It says Disney World has responded to guest tripping injury on Main Street, USA. Let's see what it has to say. Disney
Marvin, can I be abrasive and interject just real quick a little line here that I've heard that's going through my head, a little ditty, if you will.
Sure.
I'm tripping right down the middle of Main Street, USA. Take it away.
I have turned my ankle before in the grooves for the trolley.
Well, let me tell you, we're going to find out who you need to be calling, Marv. 1-888-SUE. No, we can't tell you that. Don't do that. Go ahead, Marv.
Disney has responded to a lawsuit filed in late December by a woman who alleges she tripped over a trolley track and is seeking damages from the company. The lawsuit attracted attention since it centers on the park's iconic trolley tracks that many guests are familiar with. And let's see what happens. A woman suing. The lawsuit against Walt Disney Parks and Resorts was filed on December 22nd in the Florida Circuit Court in Orange County, Florida. Rhonda Smith of Frankfort, Kentucky, filed a lawsuit for.
What are you saying about Kentuckians there, Marv? Look, he switched into that. He does the same.
Accent. I'm very empathetic.
He does the same thing when we do Jersey. He suddenly starts speaking with a Jersey accent that he never had before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, never. It's completely put on. Filed a lawsuit for $50,000 claiming that the trolley tracks do not adequately have marked steel rails and flangeways near a castle attraction.
Can't tell how many times I've thought we need more flangeways. We got to get more flangeways in this theme park.
This caused her to trip and fall, resulting in, quote, permanent injuries and substantial medical expenses.
There's a random video of oranges in case you want those. I don't know what that would do for us, but.
In her complaint, she alleged that Disney failed to uphold its responsibility to maintain reasonably safe walkways for guests. She claimed that the company allowed hazardous conditions, including uneven surfaces and gaps that could pose a tripping risk, to remain in place. The filing also asserted that Disney did not conduct adequate inspections, correct the alleged dangers in a timely manner, or provide sufficient warnings about the condition. She further alleged that the incident resulted in lasting injuries. She claimed she suffered permanent physical harm, ongoing pain, emotional distress, disability, reduced enjoyment of daily life, and a worsening of a pre-existing medical condition, along with other related damages. So now Disney's response, well, let's see what they had to say. Disney has responded. In response, it characterizes the trolley tracks as open and obvious. Essentially, it called this lady an idiot, and argues that plaintiff Rhonda Smith bears the responsibility for the incident. The company contends that Smith owed a duty to use reasonable care for her own safety, and that she breached her duty by failing to pay adequate attention to her surroundings. Wow, so Disney is really going at this lady. They further maintained the condition described in the complaint was plainly visible and therefore does not require additional warnings. According to the filing, because the tracks were open and obvious, Walt Disney World has no obligation to provide signage or further notice to guests about their presence. The company has formally requested that a judge decide the matter. Court records indicate that the current case management schedule lists a trial date of November 22nd, 2027 at the Orange County Courthouse. Pro, this clearly shows us that Disney is 100% certain that they are in the right here, because otherwise they're not letting this go to court.
Well, they would have used Disney Plus as a reason to bypass all of this had it been meritorious. But I'll say this, Marv. So a few months ago, we had the report of the lady who went down the Humunga Cowabunga slide at Typhoon Lagoon, and there were a lot of people out there who were kind of laughing at her. And because, the headlines came out and called it a wedgie accident and all this kind of stuff. And we didn't go along with that. We covered that seriously. And the reason was because we knew that lady was sitting in a pool of her own blood and had internal injuries. And it was really bad. She had to be taken by the ambulance from Typhoon Lagoon. And then Disney allegedly tried to strong arm her out of using or out of seeking legal remedy with them, by forcing her to put out very private images of her very private areas injured that no woman would want to do. So there are times when it sounds funny and we don't jump into that funny place, and it's really a serious issue and Disney needs to do the right thing. In this case, I could find some ways that the trolley tracks could be a problem. If it was somebody, for example, who was visually impaired, and they twisted up, or maybe a parade float was coming, and you can come up with some millions of people walk down Main Street USA in a year, millions. So you got to really stretch it. And these tracks are so teeny tiny on purpose so that even your small toe really could not fit into them. I mean, they've specially designed this. So I've done this before, actually. It's really hard to even get a stroller wheel to be affected by these. Marva, you said you tripped into it, and I understand that there are places where it can happen.
Yeah, there are larger grooves over by the Emporium. And that's kind of where I turn my ankle in that, but everyone does. Yeah.
But so is it possible that she, went into it with a strange angle? Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. So we don't want to disparage the lady. On the other hand, here's the problem with it. If Disney were to pay $50,000 for, stepping into a groove that, well, what would they have to do then? Anywhere there's a groove, anywhere there's any kind of change in elevation for pavement, I'm talking about like an inch, they would have to put signage there or be prepared to have the precedent of getting sued again over stuff like this. So Disney really can't. We don't defend Disney unless we, have to, or it's the right thing to do. We try to play the right side of this. Disney really can't give in on this one, because if the tiny itsy bitsy groove on the trolley track is enough to get you sued for $50,000, almost anything, like we're going to put signage up for, like the concrete that's underneath these rails, maybe you stubbed your toe and maybe it caused lasting damage. I'm not trying to be frivolous, make fun of the lady, but the number of lawsuits that would have precedent then to succeed against them would be vast and all consuming.
Yeah. The fact that they are willing to take it to trial, though, it sounds like this is just kind of a common sense case. MJ, have you ever tripped? You walk right down the middle of Main Street USA quite a bit. Have you ever tripped on these tracks?
No, I'm always watching where I walk. For the most part, if I'm not rolling, you guys know I roll occasionally. If I need to, I have my I'm not ashamed. I have a wheelchair that I use occasionally if I need it, depending on the type of day I'm having. So we're just very careful. We watch where we're going, and everyone should watch where they're walking. If it's a new guest and they've never been there and they don't know that there's a system, tracks with the trolley, I can understand for the most part. But if you're a regular guest, I don't know, it's just common sense. No matter where you go in this beautiful world that we live in, watch where you're going, watch your step.
You can see the grooves down there, MJ. They're teeny weeny, itsy bitsy. There is a better argument for a lawsuit. Okay. No legal expert here, but we've seen these things happen. There's a better legal argument that you could trip over the curb and fall and do permanent damage, then your foot could get in one of those grooves. I mean, it's really difficult to do and cause permanent damage.
Yeah. Yep. And even more so if it's a first time visit for you, you definitely want to look where you're watching because you're not familiar with the grounds, right? But some people just assume, oh, I'm in the Magic Kingdom. It's flawless. There's nothing wrong. Yeah, well, think again. You better watch where you're going.
Erica, you could grab one of those rose bushes and draw blood in your hand and get the right kind of lawyer and make stuff happen, right?
Man, I wish you hadn't said that because there is no. I actually fell into a rose bush as a child.
Oh no, Erica! Erica, the cosmos have caused us to have this conversation right now. Let's go back and revisit.
You just have no idea.
She's hated roses ever since. Do not get this lady a rose. She wants a gardenia. She wants she wants a daisy, not a rose.
Every rose has its thorn, and Erica found every single one of them.
I've never forgotten that incident. But I mean, look, it's common sense. And I hope this lady doesn't travel to Europe because there is natural cobblestone everywhere. Anywhere you go out here, it's uneven land. So, and it's a theme park. We're in the information era. I'm sure she's watched vloggers and live streamers in the parks before her trip. Yeah, it's just common sense. I'm on Disney's side on this one. Raph actually incurred a stress fracture on his front, was it tibia at Epcot from walking at an incline. And it was just from the stress. But you didn't see us suing Disney for having to walk on an incline, and
it's novel, but I will leave this out there. The caveat. Everybody ready for the caveat? There's always a chance. There's always a chance that something we don't know about is at play, and we're going to be careful and say we'll see how it plays out. But if it's just she somehow got her, the edge of her foot into the trolley tracks and twisted her ankle a little bit. If that's how it's being read to us. If that's the case, there's not much of a case here. But if there's some sort of bizarre situation scenario where, hey, the pavement was broken and they had, tape around it, but they took the tape away while they were working on it in third shift, didn't fix it, and she put her foot there. There's always a chance of this stuff. So we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh man, I had a point that I was about to make, and then I just completely lost it. So
you're going to talk about the time that the shark bit your leg off on the Jaws attraction in Universal, and you didn't sue, not for a second.
No, but I was going to talk about a Universal thing. Now, thank you, Pro. That just jogged my memory. Pro, do you remember the first week that I had taken the job at that park place? I was getting B-roll around Christmas time in Universal, and I'm walking and filming the Christmas tree, and I walk right off the curb and eat it.
Totally.
I was
seriously injured. I
had to go to the first aid area because I was bleeding from the legs. And we have that footage somewhere. I have to dig it up because it is just like, boom, I go down.
Can I tell Marv, can I tell a funny story that's going to be just a little bit embarrassing about you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just a little bit. The first time that Marv, the first week that he was hired to be the editor-in-chief of that park place and start reporting from the parks and all that, he told me, Pro, this is a dream come true for me. I've always wanted to get to a job where I'm literally in the parks. And Marvin was telling me all the places he's going to go to work, I'm going to go and I'm going to get pictures of this and that, and we'll be the first on the scene. And I've figured out every single park where I can go with my laptop and my equipment and my, video stuff. And he's got it all planned out, and he's a genius. And literally within days, I get the call, hey, Pro, I ate it, man. I completely ate it. Nothing was destroyed, but I might be injured for a long time, and I don't know if I can go back. It was like within the first few days, I said, Marv, what happened? And yep, looking through the video camera and did not see the change in elevation, and boom, went the Marv.
Yeah. I was limping for a couple weeks after that. It was pretty bad.
Ate it hard.
My knee is still kind of a little screwed up from it.
Wonder if it's too late, Marv. Those billboards say you can call those guys, and we wouldn't do that to Universal or Disney, would we? We would not do that. No.
But maybe a couple more super chats, and I'll be able to summon up the courage to heal. All right, we've got a few more super chats to get to here from you guys, being very, very generous today. Wild and Crazy Bear for $2 saying, MJ and Erica, do you guys have a crush on Prince Gator? No?
Who's Prince Gator?
Prince Gator is the he's the new character that they've rolled out at Mardi Gras at Universal this year.
Oh no, I'm so
He's
out of
so
touch with
ugly.
Universal.
No, he's so ugly. I saw when he came out and he was in his costume and it was cheesy and he's
Gotta
like
see this.
gold. He's ugly. No crush.
What?
See, I actually think he's pretty. I think he's a cool looking character. I like when they create these original Universal characters and they're not like from a movie or something like that.
There's a lot of hate on the poor guy. He looks like who's the bad guy from Donkey Kong?
King
Oh.
Cruel.
Yeah, he looks like Kate Cruel or whatever his name is. Yeah, that's what he looks like. He's a cool looking guy.
He needs a better costume.
Look at this
Oh, he
fella.
looks
Look
like a
at
walking
he's
popcorn
dapper.
bucket.
Yeah.
He's
He
glitz.
looks
He's
like my
glamour.
ex-boyfriend. No.
And he's not wearing a top. So
Not bad. He's
That's why he's
cute.
got beads.
got all the beads, not wearing a single stitch of clothing except for a crown.
I believe those were thrown to him by Valiant Renegade.
All
That's
right,
why
Erica.
that's
When
why
you
the
go back
photo
to
is-
Universal, take a picture with him. Take a selfie with him, Erica.
It's why the photo is from the waist up right now, folks.
Yeah.
Got a cute cartoony look to him, like a cartoon character.
So the thing I like about this is Universal has got a like specific character for each of their big events, right? Christmas time, they have Earl the Squirrel.
Yeah.
They've got Prince Gator for Mardi Gras now. And for
Mhm.
Halloween Horror Nights, I mean, they've got a million of them.
Yeah.
It depends on which one they roll out that year. A lot of times they'll put out a brand new one, but usually it's like Little Boo or Dr. Oddfellow or Jack the Clown or the Pumpkin
Mhm.
King. Like there's so many that they create. And that's pretty cool. Like that's park specific stuff, which is a thing that Disney used to have in droves. I mean, you used to be able to make lists of the best park specific characters. We have
Mhm.
Buzzy from Cranium Command, and now you still have Figment, but it is what it is. They connected to IP now. Wildman
Those are
Yavin
the
for
days.
$5 says out of obligation.
He's never gonna let that
You are
go.
never obligated to super chat, but we do appreciate when you do.
Always
That's
an
a joke.
invitation.
Yeah, that's a joke with he's still on that. It's
Always
like
an
last
invitation,
week.
never an obligation.
Yeah.
Irate Specialist for 199, power to the 199 says, Margaret, I think we found the streak.
The streak? No, Margaret's going to find me the steak. Me and Margaret, if we get enough money to buy Marvin a new computer, Margaret's going to take me out for a steak and catfish dinner. I don't know what that means necessarily, but she told me that's what we're going to do. I think she's talking about seafood and steak, but maybe it's not. Wait a minute. Jonas is actually reaching out to me. A catfish dinner does not mean what you think. Don't say that again online. All right, folks, we'll find out what the catfish dinner is all about in just a few.
Kalioth for $2 says, Winter Whizzle filled the sizzle. Time to TKO Dizzle.
Never TKO.
It's time for the winter whistle. The sizzle has frizzled like a slush puppy.
I don't think that's fair. I tried the best I can.
It's still cruel we have that in the clips. That
I
kid.
was thinking about that ugly child, that poor child.
No child is ugly, MJ. No child is ugly. Except for that kid.
I don't think that's fair. I tried the best I can.
Ryan the Travel Dad for 199 says, computer problems equals user error. Love you, Marv. Yeah, you never know. Call sign Bob for $2 says, LOL, pros Owen Wilson sounds like Jen Coolidge.
Wow. Ka-ching, ka-chow. Wow.
Lord. Kalioth for 2 says, Rhonda Smith spilled McDonald's coffee on herself too?
That woman suffered third-degree burns. She was never the same afterwards.
Yeah. Chef Davis, I highlighted this one just because he says, if you didn't trip on the train tracks, did you even go to Disney?
Not a full experience unless you do it.
Yeah, agreed. You got to eat it at some point. Kalioth for 10 says, I have been to Disney 12 times, age 8 to 24. The trolley tracks were not an issue for me. Cobbles, yes. Takes you not paying attention to get hurt. They have insurance people on payroll covering this.
That's right. The lawsuit amounts are baked into the cake by the actuaries.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Archer Merchant for 5 says dangerous conditions plus HR issues because of culture of avoidance and concealment, always embracing the kick the can further until too late.
Archer, you might just be right. Let's go to Walt right now and see what he thinks about all of this.
We'll ride the rides and see the sights, conquer lines, face our frights. Oh, it's a happy holiday with you. Oh, it's a happy holiday with you. Yes, you. Oh, it's a happy holiday with you. Oh, it's a happy holiday with you. Yes, you.
One day a guest will come. One day a guest will come.
Poor lonely Walt.
Lonely Walt.
I remember when Dreamers Point was created, at first, it was actually like very popular. Like people were coming up to it. There were big lines to take pictures with the Walt statue. It had lines a lot like what the partner statue gets on a daily basis. And that has dried up because I think people realized one thing.
And Dreamers Point is the antithesis of the idea that Walt had this incredible optimism and hope for the future, that if we all work together and we all dream together, we could build the impossible and make it our reality.
The antithesis.
That made it through how many people?
But they're all geniuses over there, Marv. All of them. Mm-hmm.
Finally, Wildman of Yavin for 5 says new billboard. Jack got Marv 400K. It'll pop up in Gainesville or something. That'd be nice if Jack could do that for. I'd probably go to Morgan and Morgan. They're for the people.
And for the trolley tracks, eh?
Yeah.
All right, I got to get on my way. There's a guy with a new piece of content coming out who's going to be joining you guys in just a second. Before I go, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody who's been making That Game Place a heck of a comeback story. We covered some more Heroes of the Storm last night. We've got Mario Kart coming this weekend. And if you'd like to join us and play along with Marv, me, and the rest of the gang, hop on into That Game Place or become a high-level member at the Patreon. It's patreon.com/WDWPro. And you can go play games with us and build a community of lots and lots of fun. You can even suggest the games we're going to play. But now I turn it over to the man, the myth, the legend, who is going to start with his brand new channel content on the way. Please welcome to the stage, Vash Sky.
Happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I do apologize for the delay.
Vash,
What an intro. What an intro.
I know, right?
Woo!
So grand.
Vash,
I
we're
was walking
raising
into
money
the
right
Magic
now.
Kingdom.
Vash, we're raising money right now for Marvin's computer. He had some technical difficulties, but I want to look back there, Vash, for a minute. Vash, what is this Star Trek device you have that's powering all of everything? I mean, it looks like you've built humanity's final machine back there.
Yeah, well, that's my streaming and gaming rig. They're actually going to be my editing rig pretty shortly here.
Are you sure you didn't steal that off of Star Tours? I mean, that's impressive, man.
No stealing off of Star Tours here. Unfortunately, it would have been a lot cheaper that way. No. All those things purchased. And by the way, I want to go ahead and shout out to Pro right there. I was having some technical issues myself, I believe a year ago now. And they were kind enough to help me out, and it was pretty freaking awesome. So
look at the way this man's looking at it, like a shark looks at an injured tilapia. He's like, oh, really?
Now, Marv, to be fair, he didn't pay for the whole thing, just a little bit.
Oh, yeah, walk it back, buddy. Walk it back. He's like an orca who's seen an injured seal, and he's just sitting there with his fork and his knife like, Bro's going to pay me real nice for this one. We're getting some RAM, baby. We're getting some RAM tonight. Yeah, Daddy's getting some RAM.
The RAM, that's the funny thing, bro. That computer right there, I never thought that the RAM would be the second most expensive thing in there. Never thought in a million years. But it literally tripled since I bought that.
Marvin's getting the RAM, Pro's getting the catfish. We'll all get what we wish for.
Mm-hmm.
And folks, with that, I got to go.
See you, bro. Thank you for dropping in. Vash, you've got a big live stream coming up today at 2 p.m. We're just a little over an hour and change away from that. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, absolutely. I've been up for, since 2 o'clock or something like that, trying to get everything ready, trying to get everything just pristine for you guys and put on a great show. Fortunately, the assets, you gotta build them sometime. And unfortunately, it had to come right before the show right there. So on this, I think it's Ash Wednesday today. Also
That
happens
is
to be
correct.
birthday of family, and it's all kinds of stuff. We're gonna definitely have a celebration, celebrating the new channel, inviting some friends over. Marv, Erica, MJ. You all know that you're invited if you can make it, but I know you have a host of duties as well, so don't worry about it. We have plenty of friends stopping on by and really kicking us off right there. We're going to be talking about some of the topics that we've covered on That Park Place on this show, actually. Talking about Josh D'Amaro for sure, and what he plans to do with the parks, allegedly, or so they say. We'll get into all that and much, much more there on Vashsky Parkcast, redirected after this show.
Absolutely. It's going to be a fun time, guys. For now, we got to get on to our next story, guys, because a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, an incoming CEO said something that it's almost true, but mostly dumb. So let's have a look.
There we go. One more for the top. Triple decker, just how you like it.
Wow, thanks, Mr. Walt.
You enjoy it.
We will.
Disney fans have had a lukewarm reception to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge since it first debuted in Disney's Hollywood Studios over and Disneyland. But what we have seen is a lot of affection given to Rise of the Resistance and not nearly as much enthusiasm for the other major attraction, Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. Now, even the incoming CEO, the man who has headed up the parks for years, is admitting that guests don't love Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. We're going to talk about it here today on That Park Place. All right, guys, Josh D'Amaro was talking about this article from thatparkplace.com written by Cham Lee. Disney Experiences Chair and soon-to-be CEO Josh D'Amaro has acknowledged that not enough guests love Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. While the ride typically draws strong attendance and positive reactions, some visitors do not feel a deep emotional connection to it. D'Amaro made the remark during a design review observed by a Harvard Business Review contributor, where he used the phrase, "Guests like it, but they don't love it," to describe the ride's impact on park visitors. D'Amaro weighed in on an update coming soon for the ride, launching May 22nd with the theatrical release of The Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Smuggler's Run, a simulator ride located in Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland in California and Disney's Hollywood Studios in Florida, opened in 2019 and has remained an element of those lands ever since. The attraction assigns 6 riders to roles aboard the Millennium Falcon, 2 pilots, 2 gunners, and 2 engineers, each with tasks related to completing a smuggling mission. D'Amaro's comments reflect an internal assessment that conventional measures of success, such as wait times and ride capacity, do not fully capture the emotional responses Disney seeks to evoke in guests. The ride's consistent wait times and attendance show it remains operationally successful, yet leadership believes that deeper emotional engagement is necessary for fostering long-term guest loyalty. Now, during the design conversations, D'Amaro and Imagineering personnel discuss how the role assignments affect the guest experience. Pilots have direct operational control steering the craft and affecting mission outcomes, while gunners and engineers, by contrast, perform supportive actions with less influence on the narrative. D'Amaro suggested that uneven distribution of influence might limit how strongly some guests connect with the experience. Despite long waits, guests get a 1/3 chance to get a pivotal role in the mission flying for the plan. That distinction between liking the attraction and loving it, I completely just lost my place because this thing jumped. Sorry. Between liking the attraction and truly loving it has become a focal point for Disney's creative leaders. We are getting a Mandalorian and Grogu update. The new mission will be aligned with the Mando and Grogu movie scheduled for May 22nd at both Disneyland and Hollywood Studios. The debut also coincides with the theatrical release, and the update will feature expanded roles for all riders and real-time visuals powered by upgraded hardware. Guys, Smuggler's Run. They say people like it, but don't love it. I would say that saying people like it is maybe a little a little exaggerated.
We just did that not too long ago as a family. But I come from a different perspective and point of view. It's more ignorant. So I'm more or less watching the kids do it, and I'm not really sure if what's happening is supposed to be happening. So because I am coming in from an ignorant point of view, we enjoy it. The kids love it, but does it coincide with the film? I don't know. So, but it was fun.
Yeah, it doesn't really coincide with any film, really, outside of maybe Solo, right? Hondo is a little known character. I'm only seeing him just a few times in Clone Wars and Rebels. And so as soon as you're drawn into this attraction, you're kind of, you're in the unfamiliar. And it's kind of a shame, or I mean, generally speaking anyway, I guess if you're a hardcore Star Wars fan, you might recognize who Honda is. But it's kind of a shame that this attraction doesn't evoke more of those kind of Star Wars feels, especially given that the Millennium Falcon is so iconic and everybody talks about how, oh wow, I got goosebumps the first time I saw it. Yes, that's true. But the from the outset, who's inviting you on? I mean, shouldn't it be Han? Shouldn't it be Chewbacca? Instead, we get Hondo Ohnaka. That's a little strange. Then you actually go into the actual simulator attraction, and while the technology is extremely impressive, I'm not going to take anything away from this. It is very impressive technology. It's unfortunately not as compelling and as I think the Imagineers intended. Again, this was during kind of the more interactive era of Imagineering. It's quite interesting, Marvin. Of the slate of new attractions coming to Walt Disney World that were announced at that last D23 Expo, none of them are interactive experiences. Very, very interesting. But with this, I think Josh D'Amaro makes a point here where it's like, hey, look, unless you're the pilot, you're not really engaged with this story at all. I mean, if you're gunner, if you're engineer,
is fun too. Like I love being pilot on this ride.
Oh yeah, it's actually a really fun time. And Marvin, I think you had the opportunity, the same as I did, where you got to go by yourself, right? That's kind of a cool experience too, because if you're like the left, I guess, pilot, you actually can hit the hyperspace on the other seat over there. So
really controlling it like that, like I was leaning over.
You're like in both sides, because I did that once because the kids were in the back.
Oh, that's fantastic.
My first time I ever rode Smuggler's Run, I was the right pilot, and that's the one that hits the light speed. And so I hear Hondo Ohnaka, and he's just like, right pilot, take it to light speed. It's the lever right there. And I'm like, I know where it is, Hondo. Thank you. I'm aware of how to take the Millennium Falcon to light speed. Thank you.
Yes, yes, I would imagine you did. But if you're the pilot and if you're a solo pilot, it's actually pretty decent right there. You are on guardrails and so forth, but it's pretty decent. But even if you're pilot, though, Marvin, the problem with this attraction, which they intended for 5 different missions, is that it's only a single mission. So even if you are a pilot, it gets pretty. I don't want to say boring, but it's just there's no variety whatsoever. Very strange with an interactive attraction. Also, too, there's no real competition between everybody like other interactive attractions. Take, for example, Buzz Lightyear, Space Ranger Spin, or Toy Story Midway Mania. You're competing with your family members right there, so everybody really gets engaged. Here, you're supposed to be cooperating and working together. It's actually one of the reasons why this attraction didn't make it out in Paris, because of the language barrier between the various guests that board this attraction 6 at a time, so forth. So all of these things add up to problems in which, as Josh D'Amaro points out, guests didn't love the attraction; they just like it. That.
Well, let me tell you something. If you go on that and you have 2 5-year-olds who are the pilots because their parents don't understand what this ride is, and they're like, "Let the kids be the pilots," and you're like the engineer in the back, you don't like this ride after that.
Thank God I was in the front on the left side. I told you I don't know too much, but I was in the front left. The kids were behind me, and I was like just doing both roles. But I have a question as an outsider, right? Because I'm not, you guys are the Star Wars experts. What would it take to revamp it so that it goes with the film? Would they have to redo the whole interior or just the screen?
No, just the actual show. Kind of like how when they changed Star Tours.
Okay.
Yes.
Now Hondo Ohnaka is not going anywhere. I'm sure in the Mandalorian version, he's still going to be the guy giving you the stuff. So here's the thing to point out: when this Mandalorian version happens, this is going to be Dave Filoni the ride, because Hondo Ohnaka is a Dave Filoni creation, and Mando is partially also a Dave Filoni creation.
Mm-hmm. On top of the Dave Filoni creations that we've seen incorporated into Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, like Ahsoka, like Sabine Wren, and so forth. At least,
yeah.
at least at the Disneyland version. I don't know if those characters ever made it out east.
Oh,
But
there's Luke.
yeah, there's somebody. I don't know if he's Luke or not.
Yeah.
Looks like kind of.
I thought it was a guest dressed as Luke, and then I realized.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, you make a fair point there, Marvin. I suppose if Dave Filoni is the head of creative at Lucasfilm, hey, one less thing to change, I suppose, to update it for the new era. But it is something to be said about, incorporating Dave Filoni characters. I think Lothcats actually play a big role in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge as well, if I recall correctly. And so it is kind of shifting it into the Filoni verse a lot. And I don't know if that's necessarily the most compelling era of Star Wars. Perhaps, Erica, you have something to say about that. But I don't know if one new mission is going to do it. I know these are very complicated to program, a lot more complex than maybe the Imagineers were originally intending. I mean, new destinations, stuff that people can change. I don't know if this is necessarily going to be it, but what say you, Eric?
I know the questions I want to ask, and who, just can't. I'm wondering though, because when they first had put this out there and the first time that we wrote it, I do remember thinking, okay, the concept sounds fun. It's definitely new. I have never seen anything like this done in a theme park anywhere else. So I think they were on the right path in terms of thinking and creating something that's really outside of the box. I do want to give Imagineering, the old Imagineering, that much credit. Credit to them on really putting themselves out there and trying. But the one thing I did notice, like everyone else has already stated, is when you get into the cockpit, the best seats in the house or the best roles are the two front where you basically have pilot, co-pilot. And immediately I thought, well, could you imagine if you were two parents with about 3 kids or even 4, who's fighting over to be in the best seats? So there's one issue there on your vacation. And then having to get back in line for another 75-minute wait just so your other kids could have a shot at being in the front. That's just not going to happen most of the time on a vacation. You're lucky to do one attraction per day and you're done. Then you go on to the next thing that you're going to do for your Disney vacation. So my question is, I'm wondering if had they created this attraction to be, I guess I hate to say it because it's going to be redundant in saying this, to be like Star Tours, where you're sitting but have an animatronic of Chewbacca, and you have to excuse my ignorance here on Star Wars. I'm assuming it's Han Solo. Is that the one?
Yes, Han Solo is
okay.
The
one that's piloting. Okay, having them
Unless
two
it's Rey.
animatronics flying that, like, kind of looking back and saying, "All right, come on, kids, buckle in, we're in for a wild ride," and then
I
just
think
go
that
and let the
allure
audience.
of this attraction was always you get to fly the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, I understand. I think, like I said, at the time, the concept was really outside of the box. It's one thing where it looks so good on paper, and the idea when you're sitting around that table, just brainstorming, it just sounds so great. But then once it's completed, you kind of realize, oh, wait, we didn't think about this, this, and this. And now these are the consequences. But it's so expensive to go back and really redo any of it. You're kind of stuck with what's in front of you to have to retweak and fix.
Well, so I think that I find myself wondering what they're going to do to make the gunner position more
fun.
More fun. Because the gunner position is literally you're just pushing a button over.
Yeah,
and
you're
over
just
and over
pushing,
again. You're
like
just literally going like this the entire time.
And I feel sorry for kids. I have to do that. Like, as adults, we can take it or leave it. Going to Disney with your kids is about them getting the experience more than yourself. And we're willing to sacrifice that, so our kids can have the best time.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
But I don't know.
Well, you shouldn't have to do that, right? At least on this attraction. Every
Yeah.
single seat should be compelling. And
I-
they're just simply not.
I
You
don't
make a
have
great point.
my brain creatively just is flatlining on what could they do to make all the positions equally entertaining and engaging without the complaints and the fighting.
So I
And
just,
I
I,
mean,
just
like,
wanted to
kids
give
fighting.
I just wanted to give a little pro tip on this because
Please.
the cast members on this attraction are extremely accommodating. Not only is there a single rider line queue for the attraction, but if you're a family, a large family, and they take note of that, you can do child swap. And you can also request like dad is going to go with the kids and then mom's going to stay behind with one kid. That way you can take turns and there's a waiting area where they usually
Okay.
keep like the strollers and whatnot. So that's what kind of we did, but you have to be vocal and don't be afraid to ask. The worst they can say is, no, we're really busy today. Sorry, get back in line. But they are really accommodating. Okay, so this round, mom's going to go and then you can do this and you can do that. Okay, this round, dad's going to go and then the kids could do this. So it's not so much of a complicated thing and not much of a headache. I just did want to give that insight because we were just there a month ago and it was really pleasant and they were extremely accommodating. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So I actually think being the engineer is not the worst. A lot of people think being the engineer is the worst because all you're doing is like harpooning, but it's actually not true. As the ship takes damage, your console lights up and you have to redirect the energy flow of the ship to repair it. Otherwise, the handling is worse for the pilots.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I had not previously
that's
noticed
one thing
that.
that I always point out is like I would much rather be the engineer than be the gunner. I don't know what they're going to do for the gunner. It can't be anything crazy because they're not having an extended period of downtime for this, from what I understand.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, this is in terms of uptime, this attraction looks extremely reliable.
Yes.
As compared to maybe like Rise of Resistance, for example. It is unbelievable how reliable this is. I suppose that's because of how it's fabricated, right? So this, if people aren't familiar, you're on a series of carousels. There's 2 of them, and each one of those has 7 pods or 7 cockpits of the Millennium Falcon. And there's 2 on the side, but we'll stick with the wait a minute. Is it 4 carousels? I think it's 4. Yes, it's 4 carousels. Sorry,
Yeah,
I do apologize. And 7 each. And so they can take a carousel down if they need to. They can also take individual pods down if they need to. So in terms of uptime, this ride is golden. In terms of efficiency, it's actually very efficient as well. That's what makes it so heartbreaking because, it shouldn't be this way, and yet it is. It should be something where it's a dream come true, and it's simply not. It simply has really never been outside of that kind of initial pilot seat right there. And then you kind of catch on pretty quickly what you can do, what you can't do. I also say this too about the pilot seat. It's one of those things where there's no feedback into like, oh, could I have piloted this differently, right, and gotten a higher score, or there's, I mean, obviously there's no tutorial, but there's nothing telling you like how you get the higher scores in any of those positions. I think that is maybe a flaw for the competitive anyway. But Erica's exactly right. It's better on paper than it is in practice, this attraction.
Yep, absolutely. All right, guys. Oh, well, we're gonna see come May what's gonna happen. But guys, there are 3 words that could make this attraction beloved by all. Bypass the compressor. I mean, come on, right? Bypass the compressor. That's what you have to do.
It's really good. That's pretty good if people don't get the reference right there.
Because I know
Ray.
And
Ray
I
is
do
the
want
bestest
to
ever.
shout out those cast members that we were there last month. They were so nice on this specific one and Rise of the Resistance. Maybe we just got really lucky that day. They really did it for us. So I wish that for everyone else.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Looks like, guys, we had a goal of 10 teal super chats to play a song that has been sent to us by Tom F called Trippin' on Main Street USA, and we have hit that goal already. So
Impressive.
For the end of the show, we will be playing that song. But we've got some.
We have waited for months, mis amigos. Finally, the hero has arrived. It is the hombre of legend.
Marvin, I was at DMV. And then Margaret said we hit the goal, and First Dragon Queen pretty much did it for us. And Wildman and Yavin came in and right out of obligation, Marvin. And Margaret said, throw away the catfish. We got to get over there. We got to play the song, Marv. I still don't have a driver's license, Marvin.
Well, let's have a look at the super chats first.
Okay.
We can do it. Playing that clip, everyone thinks Mexican Iron Man's showing up.
No, I'm a real disappointment. I really apologize. And I also don't have catfish. I don't even have the tartar sauce.
Well, First Dragon Queen says, I, for 5, am celebrating the war is over.
What war is over? What am I missing? I'm going to think of the news right now.
Oh, and she curses Wildman because Wildman got in the middle of that and said, out of obligation to the goal.
He's never going to let that go. I think that's hilarious.
Never an obligation, always an invitation.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. First Dragon Queen, what war is over?
I can now confirm. I've looked up the news, folks. Breaking right now. Logan Paul has ended the war with Bad Bunny. The two are going to make up, and they're going to do so in the next few weeks. It will be signed by Time Show, and Bad Bunny didn't understand what he was saying because it was in English.
It's terrible.
All right. Well, I still want to know what. She says my legal war.
Hey, well, we hope it went your way.
In Jesus' name, thank you.
And you know what? You know what? On behalf of First Dragon Queen, I think it's time we started tripping right down the middle of Main Street, USA by Tom F., one of our fantastic mods out there. Here's the song, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, gather round, folks. Let me tell you a tale of Main Street glory and a lawsuit for sale. I was strutting down Main Street, churro in my hand, waving at a princess, feeling grand. Mouser's tilted, confident, sweet. Then gravity said, take a seat.
Marvin, you're loving this, I can tell.
I slipped on a soda, did a triple spin, landed in a popcorn tin. Crowd went, oh, like a fireworks cue. I bowed from the pavement, what else could I do? My pride was bruised, my ego too. My waffle cone flew to Timbuktu. I tripped on Main Street, right by the parade. Now I'm calling a lawyer, lemonade made. From Pixie straight to a legal suite. See you in court, oh Magic Street. Security came with a clipboard grin, asked me kindly what shape I was in. I said, sir, I've suffered emotional distress.
Shape language.
All over my brand new vest. My dignity shattered like castle glass. I face planted right in front of Goofy's pass. If this is a dream, then let me away.
It will be.
Or at least cut me a settlement cake. My churros gone, my soda too. I smell a check with a cartoon hue. I tripped on Main Street under bright daylight. Now it's subpoenas instead of a ride tonight. From roller coasters to legal heat. See you in court, oh Magic Street. I love that place since I was small, but concrete sidewalks can make you fall. I want my pain and suffering fee and maybe free passes for my family.
It was measuring
objection sustained, confetti rain, settlement signed.
Which is about 100 degrees and 99% humidity on that day.
Folks, will release the entire song as a member exclusive right here on That Park Place. So members of the channel get access to the full song with video coming out real soon. But I got to go back to the DMV, guys. Margaret is calling me.
All right, well, give my best to Margaret.
Erica, how was that for a laugh today, man? I'm dying. I have a headache from laughing. So
That
hard.
song is gold.
It's really
All
good.
hail Tom.
Oh, man.
All hail Tom.
By the way, Margaret says not only do I get catfish, but steak tips now, and I don't know what that means.
What? Cat.
Tom.
Running gag, folks.
Tom has been spitting out straight fire recently. He actually
Yeah.
helped
He
me with a
has.
song for the countdown to our show here on the
Mhm.
Vash Sky Park cast coming up after this one. That's going to be pretty good. But I expect the Dapper Dans to be playing that, to be singing that very shortly.
I was
that. I'm like,
picturing
the
them like
Dapper
waving their
Dans is nice.
hats, dancing to that.
Yeah.
Like that was visually like in my brain.
It wasn't hard to imagine. Oh
my
gosh.
God, that's funny.
So we gotta get to our next story here, guys. We have another great well, not so great, because guys, Disney, we have heard a lot about safety in the last year. Safety of the attractions, safety of the walkways, safety of the food, even in some instances. But what about the safety of the air itself?
It's showtime! Straight from the heart of the park.
The Disney company is reeling after a bombshell article out of the New York Post that says Disney World is facing claims of a dangerous black mold infestation in one of its most beloved attractions. Their quote, "The magic is lost. Is it safe for you to breathe in the Magic Kingdom anymore?" We'll talk about it today on That Park Place. Guys, this comes to us from, as we said, the New York Post. So meaning like this story has now gone full on mainstream with a major publication actually, magnifying it. Let's see what they have to say here. Walt Disney World has reportedly removed black mold from the It's a Small World ride after thousands of guests may have been exposed, according to a new report. One fan posted to social media claiming that there was once black mold on one of the gondola animatronics in the Italy section of the beloved ride in the Magic Kingdom, and it appears to be finally scrubbed clean. I know that gondola section because I always point out the Italians. So it says they finally did it. Disney has cleaned the thick black mold line in this little gondola on It's a Small World. The guest shared on X in a viral post that has garnered more than 653,100 views. That's a lot of views for, think about mold. They shared in the thread an undated photo of an apparent line of mold on the gondola, noting that it was much worse recently before they cleaned it. It's unclear whether when the photo was taken, or for how long the substance was there, but other riders share that they have been waiting for it to be cleaned too. "You don't know how much that line bothered me," someone replied. Another wrote, "Just ruining our childhoods more and more," to which the original poster replied, "Yep, the magic is lost." Walt Disney World has not publicly acknowledged the black mold situation, but the post has reached out to Disney for comment. So here is the post right here. And you can see there is no black mold line on that gondola. But I'm not going to play that because that song is going to get us demonetized real fast.
Oh, yeah.
If we go over here to the actual post, I want to see if they can actually find the black mold line. So you guys should be able to see this now. They said it was down here in the... Okay, yep. So there it is. Here's a photo online. It was much worse recently, they said. You see that line right there of what appears to be black mold on that gondola, guys. That is not good. And how much more of this attraction is this mold present on? That's a big question there. Vash,
Yeah.
You normally wouldn't think of air quality as a thing that would be dangerous at Disney.
I actually disagree with that just a little bit there.
Go ahead.
Normally, yes, I agree with you, Marvin. You would think air quality might not be a concern at Disney, but there have been cases, at least at Disneyland, of Legionnaire's disease, which is most unfortunate right there. I believe it's happened on maybe 2 or 3 occasions that I can recall off the top of my head. But Legionnaire's disease, not something to be trifled with for sure. Usually that comes from bad maintenance when it comes to Disney's cooling towers. Not so good right there. When it comes to something like this, I mean, there have been posts by, I believe, Walt Disney World News Today. Previously, this is going way back, I want to say 5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, in which they had like a water line of calcium deposit buildup and dirt and so forth alongside the edges of the It's a Small World boats. As they made their way around the waterway, they took some pictures, and then weeks later, those were actually cleaned up. Very interesting. So,
I mean, do you remember when,
please,
like we used to have like Disney's cleanliness standards were once like the standard bearer in the industry. Like it was, cleaner than Disney. They, trash was picked right up. Attractions were scrubbed clean. Paint never chipped. Nothing ever faded. Disney was always on top of that. In recent years, though, it seems that those standards have seriously fallen. I remember walking into Epcot at around like 11 o'clock one morning, and one of the garbage cans in the parking lot was overflowing with trash. I mean, trash was spilling out of it and falling onto the ground. When I left, like maybe 3 or 4 hours later, it was worse.
It's really appalling, and I know what's going on because I just actually got a report from a good friend, Theme Park Wizard. He went to recently Florida and was able to see Universal and Disney, and he was relaying to me, along with his wife actually, that whenever they would go into a bathroom at Disney, it was horrendous versus Universal, very, very clean. I told them, look, they've been having issues with custodial, getting enough cast members in order to fill those roles. So what happens when they can't? Well, those cycles of how frequently those are cleaned by custodial cast members just gets longer and longer and longer. And sometimes you just end up, right in the middle of that, and that's nowhere to be to be when that actually happens.
Right.
I won't go into it here. Maybe I'll go into it on the next show because it take way too long to explain. But there have been consulting firms in Disney's past that have given them advice about reducing maintenance, about reducing cleanliness, and so forth, in order to widen margins and so forth. I hope that Disney isn't doing that again. But over the last 5 years or so, by the way, the Josh G. Morrow era, we have been seeing this on a number of occasions. You would expect that the social media era would be, you'd be in high alert. It's not the case with Disney currently.
I just wanted to point out that Toy Story Land is still fairly new, and I think it came out in 2018, and there are already sightings of mold on the walls in the attractions of Toy Story Land, and I think it's very disturbing at the fact that we have all this construction and refurbishments going on other attractions, but yet this fairly new land is already experiencing mold on the walls on their the walls that have like the painting of Woody or whatnot and the various characters from the film. I don't think that's acceptable. This is not okay.
There was a lot of moisture in the air in Central Florida, obviously, and moisture is what leads to mold. But you never used to see mold on things at Disney, and it has always existed in Central Florida, which has always had a lot of moisture in the air. So, Erica, where is the disconnect here? Why is it that we did not see mold in the past, and now we're seeing mold popping up all over the place?
Old Floridian here, born and raised in Florida. Is it really mold or is it mildew? Not that it matters. It's still bad show in terms of appearance, and that's harkening back to old Disney standards. That aside, I'm wondering if maybe it was kind of there at some point always, we just missed it because we weren't in the social media era until in the last decade, and now it's just more pronounced. Because to your point, Marvin, it's just a Florida thing. Then again, growing up there, you were just kind of so used to it, you didn't really notice it. And I mean, as a kid, I wasn't looking for it either. I was too busy trying to figure out where Cinderella was or Mickey Mouse, All that aside, though, Disney, we are in the information era, social media era, and Disney's all about that good show, and all we're doing is just highlighting to them, you need to stay more on top of it if you're going to continue the slogan of being the Disney difference when it comes to industry standards. So there's really no excuse, regardless of how common or not commonplace it is, in Florida,
I do. I definitely do. So, Vash, do you see a light at the end of the tunnel here? Do you think that maybe now, with the fact that they just scrubbed this clean, maybe they are starting to take this more seriously? Maybe the you'd think the Josh D'Amaro era of CEO, but Josh D'Amaro has been the head of the parks all this time, and this is when the mold has all been appearing. So once again, it is a thing of people being like, "Well, Josh D'Amaro is going to come in and clean it all up." Well, Josh D'Amaro had the opportunity to clean this all up for a very long time and didn't.
Right. Josh D'Amaro's had the opportunity to really invest in Disney's maintenance programs, really invest in cast members in order to ensure that they have enough crew on hand. They could have reimagined their maintenance schedules in order to keep things like this from happening, especially with water-based attractions right there. Water-based attractions require a plethora of maintenance. This is actually why Splash Mountain, for example, was actually built out of concrete in order to prevent maybe not issues like black mold, but certainly like water damage, wood rot, and so forth. But with these classic attractions like It's a Small World and Pirates of the Caribbean and those of that ilk, you have to treat them differently. You do have to maintain them to a very, very high degree, especially keeping with Disney's standards and so forth, but to be safe. And yet we haven't been seeing that. It's almost been like whack-a-mole, Marvin, in which things are brought to Disney's attention and then they actually do something about it. But the preventative maintenance seems to have eroded, and it's heartbreaking to see because we've been here before and we've seen devastating consequences from it.
Absolutely, guys. Well, we will see going forward as eagle-eyed guests on social media try to spot those black spots all over Walt Disney World, and you ask the question of yourself, is it safe to take a deep breath before going down the drop on Tiana's Bayou Adventure? That one, I feel like there's got to be a lot of mold in Tiana's. That's why I picked that one off the top of my head. All right, guys, we have a few more super chats to get to. Let's have a look, see at what you guys are talking about out there. Wild Man of Yavin for $5 says John got the first Dragon Queen 400K. I get it. Yeah. John Morgan. Archer Merchant for $2 says someone needs to AI Walt's shock at the current parks. I'm shocked we haven't gotten that yet.
It's true.
Do you think with all the Disney characters that they have put into OpenAI as part of this agreement, do you think Walt Disney is one of them?
Say that again. Sorry.
Like all of the characters that they put into Disney has paid to put into OpenAI that you're now allowed to use. Do you think Walt Disney's likeness is among them?
I don't think so.
I thought they were very specific on what franchises were actually featured, and I thought that was just like Lucasfilm characters, maybe some Disney animation characters like Frozen, for example. All of that. I don't think we've seen Walt's likeness, and I don't think we'll see it offered up to any of these AI companies for people to freely access.
Why not? If his granddaughter didn't like him being a robot, imagine him being in AI.
Aren't we getting an animatronic of him in Carousel of Progress or no?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Yes.
Allegedly, yeah.
They did just file some permits for the construction. So
okay.
We'll
see.
Oh yes,
they filed permits, but we're not sure what it's for. It's I think it was for like fire suppression systems and stuff like that. So
okay.
Gotcha. Well,
Ken Reinhardt for $2 says thought the song killed mold with My Will to Live, being It's a Small World. I actually like that song. Thank you very much.
I do like that song right there. I wish they would have kept it just original, but no, we had to modify it.
White Dragon Star for $5. Disney is falling to the doorman fallacy. They replaced hotel doorman with cost-saving auto doors, but lost money because doormen added value to the experience. That's actually a really good point, Hawaii Dragon Star. Replacing the doorman saves money, but subtracts from value, which, taking away things like free fast pass and turn down service and Magical Express sap the value out. So that's a very, very good point, I think.
Yes, very, very good point. And this is funny because Disney has said previously that interactions with cast members are so critical, especially when you're like in a shop or a store. Apparently, I forget the terminology they used, but effectively, that cast member can influence sales pretty greatly. So there are multiple reasons to have cast members. There are multiple reasons to have maintenance and so forth. You know, they used to be the best in the world, and they were profitable doing it. Now, not so much.
Well, guys, with our next story, we're going to be shifting our focus away from Disney and over to Sony, because Sony had a hit on its hands and it might be sitting on it a little bit too long. Let's have a look.
There we go. One more for the top. Triple decker, just how you like it.
Wow, thanks, Mr. Walt.
You enjoy it.
We will.
The Sony and Netflix movie K-pop Demon Hunters was an instant phenomenon among kids of all ages throughout the year 2025. But now, as we head into the future, as a sequel was inevitably greenlit, we're looking at a 4-year gap between films. But oh, wait a minute. According to Sony and Netflix now, that might even be a little too optimistic. K-pop Demon Hunters sequel may not be able to happen by 2029. Let's talk about it today on That Park Place. Guys, K-pop Demon Hunters, one of the biggest things going in entertainment right now. We saw these 3 girls performed at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and the parade popped a massive rating as a result. One of the biggest that it's ever done, because these 3 girls, Huntrix, K-pop Demon Hunters, were there. So this article from thatparkplace.com comes to us from Cham Lee and says plans for a sequel to the animated film K-pop Demon Hunters are reportedly moving forward, but studio executives now indicate the project will likely not be completed in time for a planned 2029 release on Netflix. Studio leaders have responded directly to questions about the timeline, describing the current stage of development as preliminary and subject to an extended schedule. Now, Sony Pictures Animation co-president Christine Belson addressed questions about a 2029 release during a recent interview with The Hollywood Reporter, where the publication suggested that the year might be optimistic given where production stands. Belson placed her finger to her nose, a gesture indicating agreement with the idea that the timeline may have been overly ambitious. Belson later clarified that substantive work on the sequel has not begun in earnest, in part because the creative team, and this is the part that drove me insane, is still engaged with awards season and other commitments related to the original film. I'm sorry. Awards season? Are you kidding me? Says so the directors Maggie King and Chris Appel-Hans, who led the first film, would need uninterrupted time to begin shaping the sequel. She said there's been a lot to tend to in terms of the award campaign, making my head explode. Referencing the participation in industry events and ceremonies. The implication from her remarks is that the production clock for the sequel has not yet started in a meaningful way. Guys, one of the ways that these sequels are able to get out quickly is because typically they start working on the sequel, at least preliminarily, before the first movie comes out. Now, this movie, I am convinced, was never supposed to be a hit. No one ever thought it was going to be a hit. K-pop Demon Hunters was just going to be one of the many anime type, movies that get released on Netflix seemingly every day, and this one just happened to take off. As a result, they had no merch and they had no sequel plan, and now they're scrambling. And a 4-year gap, I mean, the way these trends move, 4 years might be way too long for a movie of this size. The kids that are 14 right now who love this are going to be 18 by the time the second one comes out, and who knows if that's going to be considered passé or boring by the time that comes out. Vash Sky, they're focused on awards season instead of getting the sequel out. How short-sighted is that?
I don't know. This is already a phenomenon. Why focus on the award season to the extent that you bypass a wonderful revenue opportunity in actually constructing the sequel? I do agree with you, Marvin. This is something that was not supposed to be a hit. In fact, during test screenings, this tested extremely poorly. And I know the writers and directors, they talk about how they had to rework the film actually several times in order to get this thing through the finish line. And Sony was so down on it that they sold, the streaming rights to Netflix. And it's just caught on like gangbusters, really found the right audience and exploded from there. And I am shocked that this sequel has been delayed to the extent that it has. You would think that they would be rushing to get something out there. You'd think that they would be, traveling back to either Korea, Japan, wherever these those particular movies happen to be produced. But c'est la vie. We are not. We are instead focusing on the Oscars. Yes, because you need more commercial attention. I'm not sure.
But you know what? You guys are absolutely right. I remember when the film came out, and it was the kids, especially my daughter. She's 7. She was obsessed, and her birthday was literally 2 months later. In her birthday party, she wanted K-pop Demon Hunters, and I'm like, it's not available. They don't even have party supplies. There's no dolls. There's nothing. So this year, I think not too long ago, a little girl in her class had a party, and she was like, "Oh, Mom, it was all the K-pop theme." And I'm like, "Well, baby, they must have just fixed it, or they must have just came out with all this stuff." But now I'm seeing Loungefly has the merch that you can get, like the backpack and the wallet and whatnot from K-pop, and they have that one brand where you can pop yourself. It's like Funko, and now you can get K-pop dolls and all that. So it rolled out late. They were not. I don't think they were anticipating this thing was going to be such a huge hit the way it did. But yeah, note to self: never underestimate anything. Have the merch ready to go. The party supplies must be flying through the roof for little girls' birthdays. Just saying.
Absolutely. Guys, I mean, this movie, you look at Golden was topped the Billboard charts for weeks. I mean, this is the biggest original movie in the history of Netflix. What is next for it? That is the question. Like, what do you do in the sequel? They clearly did not have any plans for it because they're not even writing it yet. And at a 4-year return, turntable here, probably not going to happen. So when do you think we get it then, Erica? Do you think maybe is 2030 too ambitious? 2031 even? At that point, why even bother?
4 years for an animated feature, that's actually a short turnaround considering it takes 6 to 7 years on average to pull off, especially a musical. It could have a strong enough following where even your future 18-year-olds will be like, ooh, be drawn into that nostalgia. Or it could end up being like, Avatar, where there's just too much of a gap in between movies and it's going to lose its luster. In that 4-year time period, something else could come on scene that will sweep kids and teens off their feet, because that's one thing about pop culture is you never know from 1 minute to the next what is going to come down the pipeline and just be that big pop hit, with teens and young adults and kids. I kind of hope they do, and I might be being selfish here. I enjoyed the movie. The music was great. But at the same time, I wouldn't expect a second album to be just as good as the first. So that's, kind of like Frozen. You always have that with sequels. Maybe a TV show would be a better option and alternative, and they could have some music.
That's a great point, Erica. I can see Netflix giving like a series for the kids based on that movie. That would be cool.
A little controversial here. I actually thought that the music in Frozen 2 was better.
Oh, really? You're
Yeah.
not the first I've heard that from.
I think The Next Right Thing is a really good song. I think Christoph's song Lost in the Woods, I love that one. And I thought Into the Unknown is better than Let It Go.
Let It Go. It did have
maybe because Let It Go was so overplayed at the time.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I thought Into the Unknown was phenomenal.
Well, Into the Unknown was definitely, I noticed, interjected throughout the film quite a bit. You don't really see that a whole lot, that theming. Usually it's just the one hit song from the princess kind of echoing her whatever moment she's trying to express emotionally. And then the movie just kind of goes on to the next and goes on with the plot. But I did notice the Frozen 2, it was consistent. You could even hear it in the background all throughout the movie, which it's different. I'm just saying with kids, it didn't really land as well with kids, but the movie landed great with adults. I enjoyed Frozen 2, but I'm speaking in terms of how these things land with kids and teens.
The way that I think you keep K-pop Demon Hunters in the public eye is you do a Hannah Montana situation with this. And
Yeah.
by that what I
That would
mean
work.
is you make them Huntrix and you tour them. You send them in concerts all over the place. You have them doing appearances everywhere. And then when the animated film comes out, it's the animated film of this band, similar to the Beatles making Yellow Submarine or
That
something like that, you know,
that
like
would
the
work. It would keep it alive.
and they look like the characters. So like the actual 3 girls, like
Mhm.
that's what you do going forward. And then eventually you do a live action film
Mm.
with the
I
3.
didn't think about that, doing live action. That's
Mm.
an option for them if they wanted to go in that direction. Now, I have a question because I know for a while there was this like tension between Sony and Netflix because Sony wouldn't be able to profit off of merch. It's like Netflix had the rights to really, I guess, profit more off of K-pop Demon Hunters versus Sony. Do you think that might have anything to do with Sony kind of taking pause on a sequel? Because how much money are they really going to get out of the deal when it was their creation to begin with? Just looking at it from their perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really the issue with these rights that change hands, right? One of the biggest advantages of Disney, and they will be sure to, tell you all about it, is that they have this tremendous flywheel, right? And that they own everything. And that when something does hit, they can go ahead and send those things out, either via the parks, consumer products, video games, etc. When this originated as a Sony product and then was handed over via distribution to Netflix, some of that kind of got lost right there. Nobody, as Marvin pointed out, nobody thought that this was going to be a hit. It's almost like the Frozen situation, but worse. Frozen, if people remember, nobody expected that to be the unbelievable mega hit that was originally. And so Frozen merch just sold like hotcakes. They didn't have enough to meet demand, and so they were a little bit behind the 8 ball.
Same thing with Lilo and Stitch. They were not prepared for Stitchomania.
Right. Just billions and billions and billions of dollars worth of merch. Meanwhile, because of these rights issues, it's like, okay, when you make a series of K-pop Demon Hunter dolls, who actually gets the money for that? Netflix, who made it popular, or Sony, who made it in the first place? This is very, very interesting. I don't know how that breaks down, Erica, but you are leaving a tremendous amount of money, I would think, on the table by not going full bore with the merch like a Disney could.
I wanted to point out that a lot of the athletes are choosing songs from this movie for their I saw it for myself with the ice skating. I'm a huge fan of the ice skating. I think it's beautiful, and they are putting some of the music from the film
In the Olympic Games, yeah.
Yes, it's very nice. Very nice. Yes.
Yep. There was one guy who did his entire set dressed as a minion.
Oh my gosh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, that was interesting.
I want to see that.
But guys, so 2029 is the target. We are going to see if Sony and Netflix are able to hit that, or if this franchise is going to still end up going up, up, up.
Every time a membership is gifted, a content creator gets his wings.
Was that gendered language?
We're not at Magic Kingdom, Dad.
Little girl with her glasses. She's so cute.
It is.
She's
That is one of Pro's better ones. But let's take a look at the chat, see what's going on, see what our friends want to say. We see Mr. Neem 21 for 199. Power to the 199 says Frozen 3 coming 2027. Disney wants to compete with K-pop. I mean, I'm sure they do.
Yeah, I would say so.
But can they?
Can they? Yeah.
I mean, Frozen Fever was just as crazy as the K-pop Demon Hunters Mania, but we saw that Frozen Fever did not hit nearly the pitch that it hit when Frozen 2 came out. So, you can't catch lightning in a bottle twice. So it'd be interesting to see whether that's going to be the same for K-pop Demon Hunters. All right. I don't see any more super chats, so I guess we should just move into our final topic of the day here, guys. Our big grand finale.
I just can't wait for 3 days of you and me.
Bluey is coming to the Walt Disney World theme parks, Animal Kingdom specifically, over at Rafiki's Planet Watch. But is this going to be a glorious victory for the Disney company? Its biggest streaming icon finally making appearances in the parks, whether they own it or not? Or is this going to be another opportunity for upcharges and a horrible guest experience? Guys, this coming to us from Scott Gustin. A little update here. He says, hold on, I just completely lost my place there. He says, update: when the affection section reopens, it will feature animals native to Australia, giving guests the chance to affectionately enjoy animals native to Bluey's home. Animals currently part of the petting zoo will be rehomed following the last day of operations on February 22nd. Guys, what kind of animals from Australia? Because animals from Australia are typically like vicious and violent. So
Kangaroos.
I can't imagine they're gonna let kids touch a koala bear because they're endangered. A kangaroo will kick a kid across the entire area.
Let's see. They're not cute and cuddly at all. You would see them from a distance. You're not allowed to touch them or interact with them. They're more or less there just for for you to observe. Kangaroos, koalas, wombat, platypus, and Tasmanian devils. These are
Tasmanian
like
devils
ones.
will bite you, and platypuses have poisonous barbs on them, I think.
They don't have to bring any possums from Australia because we already have them at the Magic Kingdom. They're
Or
watching the
gators.
show at front and center at the dessert fireworks show. Those possums. Let's see, platypus and echinitas, emus. An emu.
Well,
Yeah.
that'd be great. The affection section of Animal Kingdom will be temporarily closing on February 23rd to make way for that new Bluey adventure coming in the summer of 2026. But guys, here's my thing. So we're gonna have all new stuff here. This is gonna be a whole Bluey area. It seems like you're gonna have the meet and greet with Bluey and Bingo, and then you're gonna have a new affection section that's going to have Australian animals. Now, once they ritualistically slaughter all of the goats that they have over there and use it for their horrific rituals, I'm kidding. I'm sure they'll be rehomed to fine homes. Those goats all had 80s names.
Oh my God, they do?
Yeah, at least they did years ago. They were all named after 80s icons. Like I remember one of them was Megatron.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss that place. I mean, I didn't actually go in there. I watched from the gate while like my wife would go in or something like that, or like any other people I was in. I'm not touching disgusting animals. But the major question here, though, guys, has got to be, what is this going to become in terms of crowd level? What is this going to become in terms of the way this actually works within the park? Because as you know, Rafiki's Planet Watch is not easy to get to.
Right.
You have to take a train there.
Right.
And the thing about that train is we are already seeing upwards of 20-minute lines for the train. So now our question here, do you have to wait in line to get on the train, to then get to affection section, or to get to Planet Watch, to wait in line to get into affection section, to wait in line to meet Bluey and Bingo, to then wait in line to get back on the train to go back to regular Animal Kingdom? There are only 2 trains that run, and they pretty much run on opposite ends of the thing, I believe.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I that's what I think I remember hearing. Vash, this could be a huge bottleneck unless they have a plan for this.
Yeah, it could be. I do wonder, because I have seen the backups when it comes to the boarding process for this train, as we have very much seen, Marvin. We've seen pictures all over the World Wide Web there, talking, showing how this is backing up quite considerably. I do wonder, though, if both trains were operational during those times. It'd be kind of interesting to find out. Maybe they're taking one train off currently in order to work on it, make sure it's in good working order, so that this doesn't become a bottleneck, or at least that's the hope. I don't know if that's actually happening, but it is really, really interesting. And I think, Marvin, we talked about it before when this was originally announced. It's like, look, this is very difficult to get to relatively for the guest. Now, at Disneyland, they won't be contending with this issue. It's going to be at the Fantasyland Theater at the back of the park right there, and there is basically no restriction to that. Here, though, I mean, huge bottlenecks, and I don't know how you necessarily overcome them. I think Disney might be surprised at the level of demand that this would see, and it's really unfortunate because in a park that's so starved for attractions to begin with, people are going to be rushing over there even more.
Yeah. Yeah. And Wildman, if you have it in the chat, says he thinks it's a purposeful time sink. And that might be true. Because remember, guys, Animal Kingdom right now, what, 5, 6 attractions? They do not have a lot going on over there. So if you are,
That's a fair point.
maybe you're elongating the day, not through like enriched experiences, but through more lines. And that is not exactly great for the experience. Now, they could, in theory, turn this train into a Bluey attraction. By doing that, I mean decorate the train, paint it, put up Bluey, like, pictures and stuff in the train, have Bluey and Bingo and the whole family doing voiceover over the train's loudspeaker called the
Oh, that's
Bluey
cute.
Express.
Yeah, that would be
Like,
cute.
that would be a way to actually make the train ride a little bit more worthwhile, I think. Maybe add some things along the train's route. But I don't know if they're going to be doing that. And then once you get to Rafiki's Planet Watch, what's going to become of that building in there? Are they going to, completely rework the way it is in there? Are they still going to be teaching you about animal care in there as well?
Yeah. So we had the pleasure of knowing the inside from a cast member, thanks to our friend Ron. And according to them, nothing on the inside, the animation area where you can draw from a character from the movie, the vet where the hospital is, where the animals and things like that, all of that's staying put. But what I'm foreseeing is something like Peppa the Pig World. We actually went to Peppa Pig theme park, and you're going to have a lot. It's going to be loud. It's going to be full of little kids, babies, probably hot and tired and screaming mom and dads because of the weather. It's Animal Kingdom. Erica pointed out not too long ago, it is a hot, humid park because of all the foliage and things like that. So just be ready because it's going to be toddler town in that area. I would, if you do not have kids, maybe you want to avoid that area. It's going to be busy. It's going to be loud.
Yeah. But now if they're not changing anything on the inside, where are Bluey and Bingo going to be? Are they just going to put them outside like where they used to put like Jiminy Cricket?
I think so. So apparently there's like I can't tell you if it's to the north, south, east, west of the affection station, but apparently there's like a covered pavilion, if you will.
There is a little alcove over there that they have had characters at before.
That's yeah.
I've seen Jiminy Cricket there. I've seen Rafiki there. I've seen Timon there from The Lion King. So they could, in theory, use that. But I mean, that's going to be people standing in line out in the hot sun in the hottest theme park in all of Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
And this is opening up in the summer. So you're going to have there'll be an uncovered line too. And that line will likely extend back toward where the train is.
Oof. I hope they add shade because they are going to close everything down on the 28th of February to revamp this area to make way for Bingo and Bluey. So I don't know what they're going to do.
By the way, I'd like to highlight here what Four Leaf Shogi said. Should be top of town. Adults excited to meet Bluey who don't have kids is concerning.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. Like
the
Bluey.
number of adults without children that have told me you have to watch Bluey.
It's
yeah,
funny.
I've been told the same thing.
I'm like, no, I do not.
It's funny.
Jonas is one of them. I got to ask him about that. Well, I mean, he has children,
But he has kids, is the thing.
He has said like, "Oh, you got to watch it." I'm like, really?
It's a cute show.
Yeah, but he
It's
has
got
kids
good
though. He has a
comedy.
reason to have watched it.
We're talking about adults that don't have kids and watch the show, and they're all my
They
son
like make it their
has,
life. They get like tattoos and stuff like that. And I'm just like,
my son has kids, friends in their early 20s, and they don't have any kids. And
to be fair, Jonas has never told me to watch Bluey.
It's funny. It's got good comedy. It's relatable comedy. It's very good. It's very cute, very clean. You just watch one episode.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, I will not be doing that. But, guys, so this summer is going to
Oh
be
my
an
God.
interesting time in Animal Kingdom. Are people going to be excited for this new attraction, or will wait times have them singing the Blueies? All right, we've got to get out of here, guys, because the Vash Sky Park Cast live stream event, the Vash Sky Experience, as I like to call it, is going to be starting in just 4 minutes. So Flying Blind and a Rocket Cycle for $4.99 is also saying, good day, all. Let's put another koala bear on the Barbie. Honestly, I'm so hungry right now. That sounds good.
Uh-oh, that's no good.
But Vash, tell us a little bit about what you've got going on the show in just a few minutes.
And what don't we got going on? I've just had people reach out. Hey, I want to be on the show. Okay, well, let's go ahead and send out those invites right there. So we're going to have a lot of people on the show. I'll go ahead and send you guys the invite right here if you guys want to hop in at all. There you go. And then the back channels right there. It is going to be absolutely phenomenal. Going to be talking about some, obviously some theme park stuff from around the globe right there. Very interesting stuff going on at Disneyland recently with permits filed and maybe art buses, going away. Or are they? Very interesting stuff going on over there. What am I talking about? Well, you'll just have to tune in to find out. But we have a lot more stories and a lot more, we have a plethora of people coming on, so you'll be able to hear about their opinions about some of these stories that you heard today and more. So definitely check us out at Vash Sky Parkcast. I cannot wait. Marvin, if it is okay with you, I'm going to have to depart right now, so we can go ahead and
I
get
was just
started.
going to say, you need to get over there, man. So we'll send the audience will be following you in just a second. Good luck with everything.
You got it. Will do. See y'all later.
Okay. MJ, tell the folks where they can find out more about you and what you're up to.
I appreciate that, Marvin. Thank you for having me on today. It was so much fun. You guys had a great laugh. I'm usually here on Mondays and Wednesdays at 12, and I'm on Instagram and X, Magically MJ with 1L. And I'm on the dish with Ron at Follow the Bradley's Fun. And then we have Brood Banter on Fridays at 2 p.m. Eastern with our good friends Erica and Raph. And you might see me on the new Vash Sky podcast. Maybe you have to come in and check it out and see if you see some more friends on there. But it's going to be a great year, lots of good stuff, and I'm excited for every opportunity. Thank you very much again for having me on the show today.
Of course. Thank you for being here. Erica, you've got a new live stream every single week. We just heard a little bit about it, but I want to hear about it from you.
Yeah, it's called Brood Banter on Fridays after that park place at 2 p.m. Just bring your brew, coffee, tea, but I can't talk today. Beer, whatever brew you want to bring. And we just sit around talking, no specific niche or list of topics. It's just sitting around, hanging out, having some laughs, end of the week, banter.
Awesome. Sounds great. Wildman of Yavin for $5 says one last time, only out of obligation.
He's so funny. Oh,
And Hawaii Dragon Star for $5 also says, just curious, do making suggestions to Disney fall under Creative Commons license? I know that TV shows cannot take or use fan ideas. I would think that it does fall under Creative Commons license. I mean, like if I was making a suggestion to Disney and they use it, I don't think would be upset about that. I'd be happy that they're taking my, what I have to say into account. I'm about to sneeze, and no,
Bless
I'm not.
you.
Bless you.
No, I'm going to sneeze twice later. That's how it works. But guys, tonight on M4 Empire Gaming, I'm going to be playing Resident Evil 2 at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a blind playthrough. I've never played it before. I get incredibly scared when zombies and things pop out at me. So come join in the fun over there. Then at 9 o'clock, I'll be over at the Geeks and Gamers Play chat where we are playing Party Animals tonight. And then I'll be back on M4 Empire Gaming afterward to finish playing Resident Evil 2 for the night. So make sure you check that out. And please subscribe to M4 Empire Gaming. We would love to have more people over there. It's a fun time, and make sure you ring the bell to find out when we're going live. There'll be a new M4 Empire video later on today as well, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night at 8 p.m. for the M4 cast. Guys, thank you very, very much for tuning in here. Lauren.
The commentary on the Empire Gaming is awesome. I just show up for the commentary. It's
thank
hilarious.
you.
It's great. It's so funny. I love it.
Guys, thank you very much for joining us today. We're sending you over to the Vash Sky Parkcast right away. And make sure to keep it here to That Park Place for all the news. Oh, hold on. Hawaii Dragon Star. There he goes. Second for this. TV shows cannot take or use fan ideas where companies have to credit and pay people for similar ideas. Yeah, I think it's I think it might be something along those lines. That they, yeah, I honestly have no idea, man. I have no idea. But thank you guys very much for everyone who chatted, everyone who super chatted and all that stuff, and for tuning in to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.